What's up, everyone? This is Will from DisneyInfinity.tv and the Disney Infinity Fans Forum. And yeah, I'm here with Chad Liddell and Bob Lowe. You guys, tell me a little bit about what you do for Disney Infinity.
So I'm the game director over the Toy Box.
Okay.
And I'm the community design lead.
Okay. So if I can kind of break it down, so you're kind of like the end all be all toy box. So everything kind of
boss.
Actually,
He's the big boss.
basically, you just stay out of the way of a very talented group that gets things done. You just work with the team to make sure we hit our targets. We have a great plan as far as the stuff that we're going to be adding to the toy box and we get it done on time.
Great. And Chad, you've been working a lot with the new community team, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I have had the pleasure to work with all 5 of them and get to know them and get them integrated with the team.
So that's kind of interesting. So the toy box, by its sheer nature, is this unwieldy, like, forgive the pun, but it's this infinite space that you gotta kind of corral. And so you're kind of doing that from a technical point of view, and you're kind of doing that from like these creative minds point of view.
Yeah.
Great. Well, so we're at a point now where the game's it's getting ready to ship.
Yep.
That's exciting, right?
It is.
It's been a long road, and we're almost there. What's one thing you're really looking forward to for shipping? Some of the most exciting things, I guess, from your point of view, someone who has had it so close to the chest for so long.
Yeah. So for me, it's all the new toys that we've added, and the thing that I'm absolutely most excited about is to see what our community is able to create with all the new toys. And that's the thing I enjoyed in one is actually going and being able to play what our community has created, because it's stuff that we never thought of. They've done some incredibly complex stuff, and with the new tools, I'm actually more excited to see what they create, because I can't wait to play.
Right.
And what you said, I'm excited to see how people take to the new user improvements. Being able to build quicker and faster, and the interface is cleaner and everything's snappier. So I think it'll be cool to see that.
Great. I've heard you talk, and I can edit this out if I need to, but I've heard you talk a little bit about the not onboarding. You have a particular
That's the
name.
word I
onboarding.
use,
Okay.
onboarding.
Okay. So that's gotten some great improvements, and I mean from my perspective, the game's much more accessible now than it was just because. I mean, that was something. And
yeah, I think there's a couple of things. One is the actual interface itself is a lot easier. It's easier to move things around. It's clean. But on top of that, we have a new level. It's called an introduction to the toy box. It is really designed to help people. It kind of takes them by the hand and shows them all the different things you can do. It's fun. It doesn't feel like a tutorial. It feels it's exciting. There's some exciting parts to it. And I think it's a big addition to the game.
Yeah, Chad did a great. Actually, this was Chad's that he headed up, so I think we do a much better job in 2.0 walking up there through things. Now, that being said, this. I mean, there's so many toys, so many things that it's impossible to teach every single thing. So what we're hoping is that with the main kind of like, hey, here's how things work, here's how the logic toys work, here's how templates work. People will then be able to go and start playing with those types of things.
Yeah, and with the community design team, we're making tutorials that we're going to be publishing on YouTube for the nitty-gritty, the real deep stuff that's in there now. So hopefully we'll be seeing those in the not-too-distant future.
Right. Well, kind of speaking of those improvements, one question I've always wondered is that with one, it was kind of the genesis of the idea, right? It was, let's get what we can in there, and it's obvious the ambition was so much more. So can you describe a little bit about the process of maybe some things you either learned from the Toy Box 1.0 or some very specific goals that you wanted to achieve for 2.0?
Well, I think one of the things we're constantly learning is we need to be careful with how much we bite off. Make sure that we create good content that's clean and it's fun and it's as bug-free as possible. I think there's a lot to learn about, like how people learn to use the toy box and how people creatively express themselves in the toy box. We want to help people to get to the point where they can do that very quickly. We felt in 1.0, it was like handing somebody a blank piece of paper and be like, here, have fun with this. And some people will, they'll make a swan out of it, and other people will, they'll draw a great picture. And a lot of people just look at you and go, what the heck do I do this with this piece of paper? So we're trying to help people to avoid that kind of a problem.
I think, you know, if you look at 1.0, we didn't have the benefit of the community. We didn't have the benefit of toy boxes that we can download and see how people are building and how they're playing. And so what we did is we tried to say, here's a lot of toys, right, that hopefully gives as much functionality as we could. And that being said, I think we've learned so much about what the community is wanting, what they're looking to do with the toy box, and so we've learned a tremendous amount, but I think that we've learned those valuable resources in the community because they're all there and say, hey, this is what we're looking to do, and then we can provide those tools and those stories.
Yeah, we have a spreadsheet and we go through every online outlet you can think of, and we make lists to see what are people are requesting the most, what are things we need to improve, what are the problems that we have to completely fix.
We check that against our own design.
We check that against us.
Interesting.
The community has a seat at the table with the community.
In fact, even looking forward, we definitely schedule a chunk and say, hey, we are going to get feedback from the community, we're going to get ideas from the community, and we want to make sure that we account for that in our schedule, our production schedule. And then we, of course, have our design ideas that, trust me, we have stacks of ideas that just, time hasn't allowed us to get into 1.0 or even 2.0. And so we'll have those that we're going to continue to progress towards, but we have a section that's like, hey, we want to be sure that we're able to address the concept.
Well, and speaking of that commitment to the community, we're going to be talking with some of the toy box artists that were hired on to work with you guys. But can you tell me a little bit about how that whole thing came to pass? Because that's kind of unique in the industry, is finding some of your most diehard fans and actually allowing them to be a part of the team. And I think it's a great conduit to the community because they're kind of one of us,
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So how did that whole thing come about?
So it was probably 6 months ago, maybe. Well, first of all, I think very early after Infinity 1 shipped, we started seeing levels that people were doing. We were blown away at the quality of what they're doing. We kind of kicked around like, there's some really amazingly talented people here. And then one of the programmers who works at Avalanche happened to tell us that his cousin was crazy by Nick, Stuart Malcolm, and he asked, is this somebody that you'd be interested in? And we thought, yes, and yeah, definitely. And it moved really quickly from there, and we decided to create a team. We felt there was a giant value there, both to the community and to us. So we chased it very quickly.
Great. Gentlemen, that's kind of all I have for you. I know it's been a busy weekend. Yeah. So congratulations on the Going Gold and the soon to be shipping. And yes, I guess if there's nothing else, I think we can call it.
All right.
Good?
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.